Welcome back to Heal Your Past, Master Your Future. I'm your host, Tracy Malone, and today we embark on a transformative journey to explore the power of questions. What if you always asked a question and left it open? See what I just did then? I literally asked a question and left it open. What we often do when we have our self-talk and we ask questions is we're asking questions that are not really helpful to us. Questions like, why does this always happen to me? What have I done wrong here? What on earth is going on? I just don't get this anymore. Why is this so hard? Can you feel those questions and what happens? When you're asking questions that are not open, the universe doesn't know what to do with them. What I'm hoping that you will learn during this episode is the importance and the power of questions and how the universe really does always have your back. And when you ask the right questions and leave them open, then you might start seeing some really awesome change in your life. I often say to my clients, the universe is so bored. If you imagine the universe being a person sitting up there and they actually have one button in front of them, and that's the repeat button. And that's all they get to do when you ask the same thing over and over. Why is it so hard? All the questions I asked before. The universe goes, repeat. They haven't figured it out yet. They haven't got the lesson. They just keep hitting the repeat button. What they're doing in the meantime is playing, Candy Crush, Solitaire, whatever it is they do up there. And they're so bored because they're waiting for you to actually give them a job, to actually open something up and leave it to them so that they can make it happen. So often we shut it down. We answer our own questions. We go searching for the answer. And if we're searching for the answer and trying to figure it out, then the universe doesn't have a job. So if I say, for God's sakes, what have I done wrong here? Show me the way. Even then they're going, repeat, head back there and do it again and figure it out. However, if we ask a question and we stay open in the question, we stay in the question and we say something like, how does it get better than this? Can you feel the difference? Then the universe goes, I'll just wait. Are they going to say anything else? Because they usually go, how can it get any better than this? And then we get into that beautiful self-talk where we go, well, it doesn't and it can't because we don't deserve it and yada yada. Now, if you've listened to the first 2 episodes of the podcast, you'll know that some of those voices are parts of us that want to be met and want to be heard and want to be seen. They're parts of our soul and our psyche. Who's driving the bus? But if you've done enough work around healing those beautiful past wounds, you can sit open in this question and the voices don't have to come in and tell you anything opposite. And you can also have a conversation with them when they're saying the opposite. But you don't have to engage the universe or believe the voice. You can open a conversation, hear what they have to say, help meet the need so that they don't have to call out anymore. And you can leave the question open. Something really horrible happens, something really doesn't go your way. How does it get better than this? Leave it open and the universe goes, I know what to do with that. They've finally given me a directive. I can now get moving. And once you've asked the question, don't go looking for the answer. Go about your day. Go about doing exactly what you were going to do. Or let your intuition guide you. Let a little bit of magic come into your day. And the answer will be brought to you. You don't have to go searching for it. It's going to drop in. You're going to go about your day. Trust your intuition. Let yourself guide you. And the answer is going to come in front of you like magic. And you're going to claim it's magic. And it's like the universe is sitting up there going, oh my God, they've done it again. So even if something great happens, you can actually use the same question. You can use the question of something amazing happens and you go, oh my God, how can it get better than this? Can you see how expansion and growth can happen through the power of questions? Now, I learned this work through reading up on something called access consciousness. So this is something that you can look at within their work. It's fantastic work. I haven't trained in it or anything like that, but there's elements of it that I really, really love, and this is one of them. And this is such a transformative tool in and of itself if you use it correctly. These are some other ways that you might like to explore and open questions. Maybe your mortgage or your rent is due and you actually don't know how you're going to meet it. There are two ways to deal with this. And this is a good one because there's a lot of living pressures, out there at the moment. So it's one that might touch people and you might understand, and I'm hoping that this might bring some amount of change for you to find solutions instead of staying the problem. If I go, how am I going to pay my mortgage this month? And I think, oh my God, I don't know how to. When I ask myself a question like that, how am I going to pay my mortgage this month? I've just put all the question to myself. I haven't opened it to the universe. And then what I will do is I will go about figuring it out. And it's like, well, you can't. And if you can't, you're no good. And this is not good enough. And all of your self-worth comes up. All of your wounded parts come up. And you are right back there in the past the first time you felt those feelings. And when you are trapped back there in those deep emotions and you can't find your way out of it, then you're certainly not going to be able to figure out how to get your mortgage paid that month. However, you might like to try an empowering question, because when you've done the cycle that you went into the downward spiral, and we all have one, we all have our patterns, and if you can begin to understand your downward spiral, or what it is that triggers it, where you go after that, where you end up, you can start really catching yourself at the start going, oh, that's my first trigger. That's my first moment of the downward spiral. Maybe I can catch myself here this time. And awareness is a massive key to healing. Awareness is the first part of healing, becoming aware of the behaviors that you do have, so then you can heal your past and master that for your future. Okay, the question for the universe, keeping it open. I wonder how my mortgage will be paid this month. And you've left it open. What you haven't done is you haven't involved yourself. You haven't gone, how am I going to? You've gone, I wonder how my mortgage is going to be paid this month. That allows the universe in, and you leave it open. So when I ask these empowering questions, I kind of see it like a funnel opens over my head, and I'm ready to receive the answer. And sometimes you can pop your arms up in the air and the big V above your head. I wonder how this is going to happen. So it shows that you're really open to the answer. And then you get along with your day. And lo and behold, somehow, some way, something happens and your mortgage is paid. I've done this with some clients when they say, I have no idea how my rent is going to be paid this week. And I say to them, let's change the question. I wonder how my rent will be paid this week. And I check in with them and I go, how did it go? And they go, yeah, I scraped it in, I got there. And I was like, yeah, that's right. But if you'd stayed in the downward spiral, you probably wouldn't have. All right, let's look at some other beautiful, empowering questions. And these ones come straight from Access Consciousness. This is some of their ideas. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask, what's right with me? I'm not getting. Can you feel the difference? What's wrong with me? That takes us on a downward spiral. What's right with me? And I'm not getting it. What's right with me? I'm not getting. Which means, let's break it down. What's right with me? Show me what's right with me. There's a part of me that I'm not getting because there's a part of me that knows how to do this. There's a part of me that can absolutely do this and achieve this, and I seem to not be getting that part of me. How do I access that part of me? What's right with me? I'm not getting. It's a beautiful one. I love it. Instead of asking, could it get any worse? Ask, how does it get any better than this? That's the example I used before, and it's one of my favorites. Everything that happens. How does it get better than this? How does it get any better than this? The good things, the things that are challenging, how does it get better than this? If you lock yourself into that cycle as that being your consistent question, if there's one question that you remember from this podcast, that's the one. Instead of deciding nothing is going to change here, nothing ever changes for me, instead ask, what else is possible that I've never considered? Feel the difference of allowing yourself to stay in the question. I really hope you're beginning to understand how until we make the unconscious conscious, it will run our life and we'll call it fate. We are creating so much of what happens in our life, and we have the tools to bring ourselves out of it. And one of those tools is listening to podcasts like this. So I really want to honour the part of you that showed up today, that wanted to listen to this, and that is ready to learn and grow, that is ready to really heal your past and master your future. There's a lot of curiosity in staying with the question. There's a lot of self-inquiry in staying with the question. So I'd really love you to think about, get curious about how you can use these open-ended questions in your life on a daily basis. Even if every day when you wake up, the most capacity you've got to do is go, how does today get any better than this? You know, you've woken up, you're alive, it's a good day. And then at the end of every day, instead of the dreaded gratitude journal, you might be doing your emotion journal, but you might end up just writing at the end, how does it get even better than this? And leave it out there. It's a beautiful tool for self-inquiry. It's a beautiful tool for overcoming limiting beliefs through questions. You can really do it through asking questions. All you're doing is a reframe. It's a really quick reframe. And a reframe is a fast, powerful tool to be able to make rapid changes. You may find that the more you practice staying in the question, you can actually really facilitate better decision making. You can help uncover your values, your priorities, your desired outcomes. You can do so much by opening yourself to the power of questions and staying in the questions. I've given you some really great tips and tools as to how to use this today, but you can do it in any way that you want. Get curious. Think about ways that you can use this in your own life today. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of how to stay in the question and the importance that staying in the question can have on our inner healing journey. To learn more or to connect with me, you can visit my website or my socials, and the links are all in the show notes. And know that on this journey of self-discovery, you are not alone. Keep listening for more empowering conversations and insights on the Heal Your Past, Master Your Future podcast.